Alright, so I get a lot of questions about my Doyles gear hoist, specifically how you get the hoist on the saddle. So the clips typically come with 1.25 inch wide clip. This is a new Doyles gear hoist. This is my old beat up one that I've had. So they come with 1.25 inch wide clip. You've got to trim that down to right at or under 1 inch, typically to fit on the MOLLE loops on the saddle. So you can see this old one that I have here, I basically just grounded all down from one side. And that's just the way I did it on this particular one to get it to fit on there. So on this new one that I have, you can kind of see I've got it laid out here, the design of it. I'm actually going to take this one down below 1 inch. I'm going to take this one to 7/8 of an inch. I'm going to take it down, but I'm going to kind of do it equally on each side of it. And obviously, well, how do you take that down? Real simple. There's a Phillips head screw right inside of the clip right here. Take your Phillips screwdriver and you remove that clip, and it doesn't unwind your Doyles gear hoist at all. So now I have this clip on. I'll basically wedge it open with something, take a Dremel tool, grind it down. Once I get it cut down to shape, I'll go back with a file and some sandpaper and just round these edges out so that way it's not all sharp. The same thing, this is the new Summit one that I'm going to do a review of. Obviously I'm going to cut the clip down on it as well. So while I'm doing the Doyles gear hoist, I'm going to go ahead and do this. Again, they're the same exact clip. They're probably actually made in the same factory. They have the same characteristics. So I'm going to go ahead and take both these clips down. Once I get them taken down, I'll show them back to you guys. I'll put them back on here, and I will put them on the saddles. Okay, so we've got our clip all cut to shape and ready to be mounted back to the Doyles gear hoist. But before you do that, if you wanted to, you can see the silver edges here where they've been ground down. You can take a Sharpie and run a Sharpie over those, knock the dull color down. It doesn't really matter because this is going to be on the back side of the saddle and nobody's ever going to see it, so it doesn't matter. Just a tip, if you want to try it, you can. So what you're going to do is you're going to want to figure out what MOLLE loop you're going to want to put this on, and depending on if you're right-handed or left-handed, it's going to kind of depend on where you want to put this. But for me, a good tip for this is something sturdy like a ruler. And what you're actually going to do with this ruler is you're going to run this ruler through the MOLLE loop. So we're going to go with this one. You can see where I've had it on this one. We're going to run it through this, and then we're actually going to take and we're going to wedge that ruler in the opening of this clip. So that ruler's set like this. And what you're going to do is you're just going to kind of work that way down. And the hardest part is where the clip sticks up on the back side. You could grind this off a little bit if you wanted to, make it a little shorter and a little less difficult to get in. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start with that. I'm going to get it set in there, and you can see this clip's going to want to go all the way through there. But what I'm going to do is once I get it started, then I'm going to put my ruler in there. Sorry, you guys can't see that, but now that my ruler's in there, you can see how quick that just popped over. Pull my ruler out. Now my clip is attached to my MOLLE webbing. The same thing for getting it off. You can start like this. Take your hard object, whether it be a ruler or whatever, a yardstick, and you're just going to kind of wedge it in there, and all you're doing is creating a ramp. Then you're going to slide it up underneath, so you can see that ruler goes underneath the MOLLE webbing and comes out right there. You're actually going to need to pull up on the back part of this clip just a little bit to get the hook up over the back of the MOLLE webbing. So you can see I'm going to pull up on this just a little bit to make sure that'll clear, and then the same thing. So you can see the webbing. All I'm going to do is push this clip up now, and my clip comes off. So that's going to be how I attach that once I attach my clip back to my Doyles gear hoist. So now comes the choice, how do I want to attach it? I can attach it where the rope ascent is straight down, or I can make it to the left. So maybe if you were right-handed, you have this clip to the right-hand side of the saddle, so you're pulling this forward. You can have it up. The only option I can think for up is if this is attached to the top of your backpack, you can reach over your shoulder and pull it out this way. And for the lefties, you can put this on your left-hand side, pull it forward. I've typically always ran mine the way they send it, which is straight down. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on. Alright, so now that I have my clip attached back to my Doyles gear hoist, I like mine slightly off to the center. So slightly to my right. I'm right-handed, so I'll reach back and grab it with my right hand, pull it around and hook my bow on it. So that's why it's going to go to this loop. And then once again, sometimes you can just pry this open enough and get it started. It's going to be a little difficult to see because everything's going to be in the way here. But I'll see if I can get this wedged in. Alright, I've got it started. I'm going to put my ruler through there, pull my Doyles gear hoist and ruler down, pull my ruler out. Now my Doyles gear hoist is attached. So you can see there it's attached. Pull it out. If you needed to take it off, the same thing. Use your ruler, put your ruler through there, slide your Doyles gear hoist straight up. So that's how I attach my Doyles gear hoist to my saddles. Thanks, guys.